Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a bonus review. If you saw me last week, you know I did end the channel, but I couldn't resist, and I said I would add 3 bonus episodes, and this is the first of 3. So I'm going to finish out the month of May doing a few episodes, well, 3 episodes. They will be mostly unedited, and I'm just doing them because in this episode, for example, I promised Dr. Goo over at Locked Sense I would indeed review everything that he had sent me, and I am determined to do that. So this one is going to be 7 fragrances that he sent in. They are in no order whatsoever, with the one exception of the first one. I do admit that the first one was my absolute favorite and a joy to wear. But other than that, I just wanted to say very quickly, again, I'm going to burn through these as quickly as I can. I will put chapters, but other than that, I probably won't do any editing or your favorite audio samples with audience laughter and booing. But anyway, enjoy this episode, and thanks for staying with me to the very, very end. Okay, welcome to the very first one. This one is Chypre Mousse. This one was, oh, what a fun one. And this one is from a whopping 1914. No, I was not around then. 1914, and you heard that right, is the release. And this one is from the house of Oriza. Oriza Legrand. See what I mean? Everything just sounds better in French. It looks like Legrand. Legrand. So it looks like Oriza, L, the initial for the middle, and then Legrand, Legrand, Legrand. And this one, of course, is a Chypre. And as I've mentioned many times, that is French for cypress. So this is going to be a fern, cypress-like fragrance. This one is a lot of fun, especially for the wet earth, damp soil folks out there, and you know who you are. Figment Man by Amouage has an ardent following, a cult following, and this one is like if you took Figment Man and threw in a bunch of black jelly beans / anise / fennel. I really appreciated this one. This one was a lot of fun, and you guys can have your drinking game if you want every time I say the word appreciate. There's one of them. So this one is a fall winter, no doubt. This one is unique. I just put some words down here to describe that. I called it unique, long-lasting, earthy, damp soil, and again, it's mixed with oak moss. It's mixed with fennel, mint, vetiver. The 3 notes that really jump out to me would be fennel mixed with mint. So I'm going to combine those 2. Then fern, and then vetiver for me. There's definitely oak moss in it, though, and other notes as well. You can always go to Fragrantica, but those are the ones that jump out. And as I said, to me, it's like it's an earthy, damp, wet soil mixed with anise, black jelly beans / fennel, for those of us who like to sprinkle. You know, fennel's the one. It's like the little tiny. They look like little tiny watermelons, and you can put that in, Middle Eastern, Italian food, and I love that spice. This one was really great because it is clearly a classic, and it is something that is not in any way old manny or old mannish. I found it to be mature. I found it to be elegant, and the longevity and projection and sillage were all outstanding. So this is another one that's perfect for someone who wants to walk into a room and have someone pick them up. It is mature. I would put it at 40 and up. But it is not in a bad way. This one would be perfect for those of you who do like the Chypres, and this is also perfect, as I said, for those of you who do like the wet soil, damp earth kind of smell, and also just for those of you who would want something, that harkens back to an older time. So 1914 is the release. Really fun. I seared through this one immediately, and I had just a little bit left recently, and on that particular day I was out walking for a long time. And when I came back into a building, people said that they could still pick it up then. So that really speaks to just how great the longevity, projection, and sillage were. In fact, I would put them at outstanding. I was very happy, and I would want to have something like this in my collection. So this one was a 4 out of 5 sprays. As I said, it is my favorite of the bunch. The rest of them throughout the day here in the reviews will be completely at random, but I just wanted to start off with this guy because it left such a good impression. Let me know what your favorite Chypre is, and or your favorite wet soil, damp earth fragrance, although it's probably, if anybody comments at all, it will probably be Figment Man by Amouage. Either way, this was a fun one. Okay, for the second fragrance that I enjoyed rocking, this one is Incident Diplomatique, or Incident Diplomatic, or Incident Diplomatique, however you want to do that. Incident Diplomatique just sounds kind of nicer. This one is from the house of Jovoy Paris, so that is Jovoy Paris. And this is a 2017, and it is a woody spicy. This is another one that is a mature fragrance, and this one is kind of easy to give comments on if you are familiar with Terre d'Hermès and the Ancanois à l'extrême. So what I would say is this. This one is orange mixed with a very nice vetiver. This is kind of a fragrance that is it's like vetiver for the Haitian vetiver for the folks who don't really like vetiver because they find it too strong and kind of dry. Not strong, because it is strong. Dry is the word I'm looking for. It's not a very dry vetiver. It is a very nice, lighter Haitian vetiver that is going to be very appealing to a lot of people. There is patchouli and sandalwood as well, but this one really will depend on whether or not you like the vetiver in it, as well as the orange and the top notes. This one is, to me, you guys, when I did the episodes, I would always talk about what I thought they would say in boardrooms. Here's what I think is going on. 2017 release, and I feel like they were considering a fragrance that is not that's going to tone down the orange peel note for the Terre d'Hermès. So if you feel like you want something very mature, confident, sexy, but with the orange toned down, and Terre d'Hermès just has too much orange peel for you, then you would like this. And it's also for the folks that find Ancanois à l'extrême just a little too dry as far as the vetiver. It almost takes almost feels like a shortness of breath, right? Because the vetiver is just that dry. That will not be happening here. Now, I want to be transparent saying I have both, and I absolutely love both. So this would be superfluous for me, but it certainly is a very nice fragrance on its own. Again, I think that's what they were going for. It's like, hey, can we make a fragrance that is good for somebody who finds the orange peel too strong in Terre d'Hermès, or the vetiver just too dry in the Ancanois à l'extrême. So this is a very, very nice, mature, confident fragrance. It's going to be for the 40 and up. I should have mentioned in the previous one with the Chypre Mousse that one is masculine leaning, for me at least. I mean, still in the unisex category, but I find it clearly masculine. This one here, though, I do think leans way over to the masculine side, and so I think it would be a great choice again for the 40 and up. Looking for someone who's very established in his field, confident, and on down the line. This one is more along the lines of a man's fragrance, and so it's going to be appealing to a lot of people. I also had good news when it came to the projection, longevity, and sillage. My only issue with this one is just personal, right? It's just that I have Ancanois à l'extrême, and I also have Terre d'Hermès, and I absolutely adore both. And so I am going to give this a 3 out of 5 sprays, but do not be surprised if I am the outlier and other reviewers give this higher. And I think it if you did stumble onto this episode because you're thinking about buying it and you don't have those fragrances I mentioned, then you should absolutely consider this one for your collection. This is a 3 out of 5 for me. I don't even have, this is actually, when he first sent this sample box in, this was one of the first that I ripped through, so that should tell you something here. Again, holds its own, probably going to be a 4 out of 5 for most reviewers. I'm going to put this at a 3 out of 5 though, just because again, I think it would be something I would reach for as a gift for somebody, but once you have the other two, I don't know that you really need to get something like this. Just my opinion. 3 out of 5 for this 2017 Woody Spicy. And I did note that for me it was a mature, not dry, a little bit light on the vetiver as I mentioned, and then you've got some orange, patchouli, and sandalwood sprinkled in as well. Perhaps not the most daring fragrance in the world, but it does smell fantastic as a standalone, mature, confident release. Okay, so up next is my actual scent of the day. This one is New York Intense by Nicolai. This one is another one that first time with this house. And again, my scent of the day. If you've made it this far, let me know, please. Let me know what your scent of the day is during this monster session of a bonus episode. So this is, the house is Nicolai. This is a 2014 release, and this one is a woody aromatic. I'm looking at my notes, and because I also want to say this one is close to a fougere for me. This is a woody aromatic brought in by the lavender, but I do feel here's what you need to know with this one. It is very pronounced with regard to the citrus notes and the lavender. I love Custom National Homme, and it is a clove and cinnamon balm. This one has clove and cinnamon in it, and I have to tell you, I don't even know if I would have been able to tease that out if I hadn't seen the notes in Fragrantica, because I don't really see this. In fact, I did detract some rating because I do feel like the clove and cinnamon should have played a bigger role here. This one really comes down to lavender and citrus, and it is very much an old school vibe to it. It's similar to La Ligue Parome. I like La Ligue Parome much better, but it's almost like if you took some of La Ligue Parome and then mixed it with the La Troisième Homme de Caron. That's why I had to pause there, which I'm not editing out. So it's Le Troisième Homme de Caron. And that is the yellow bottle from Caron, right? It's Caron. I don't know how to say it in English, actually. Caron, the French house. And it's the one that says Le, like L-E. And then it has the number 3 with a lowercase e. So that's Troisième. Le Troisième, and then it has Homme from Caron, or Caron. And that the yellow bottle. It's very similar to that one. I did sample that one, and I would call it almost like siblings to that one. I prefer that one. This one is, and especially because I did hear that this is a niche house. I did read this was a niche house, actually. I like this one. I just feel that in this particular category of an old school fougere-like woody aromatic, I really do feel that one of two things. For men, there are much better options out there. And number two, I know you're ticked off. And then number two, I do think this works much better on a woman's skin. In fact, because I've ended the channel, I can say what I really, really, really think. And for all 63 of you who have made it this far, I can definitely say, get ready to boo me. Because this one is considered a classic in in Fragcom, and as sacrilegious as it is and blasphemous as it is, I do have to say I'm sorry, but this one is a grandma scent for me. I know that is so terrible to say, but I do find it would be better on a mature woman, and I would go so far as to say that it's a grandma scent for me. The woody aromatics, the lavenders. If you're going to go barbershop, I think I'm okay. I just feel that the citrus really plays a too dominant part, and the clove and cinnamon are way down there. And for that reason, I'd have to say I would give this a 3 out of 5 sprays in my rating system. You can convince me this is a 4 out of 5 on a woman's skin for women. This one it's very nice. It's very pleasant. It's not really what I'm looking for, so I'm trying to give my rating based on an objective point of view. I would be tempted to go 4 out of 5, but because if it is niche, then you should definitely, if this is expensive, then you should definitely either go La Ligue par Homme, which you can get for $25-30 a bottle for the 2.5 ounce, and you should absolutely get Le Toison Homme de 40, the yellow bottle, instead of this, to save $1. That's what I would do. I know that this is held in very high regard. Probably why some of my episodes have 38 views. But hey, keeping it real like I always do. This one was sort of a pass for me. I did labor. I don't know if I'll get to the end. I appreciate it. There's your second one for the drinking game. I like it. I understand where it stands in FragCom. It's just, for me, it just doesn't really have enough personality. I'm getting myself in more trouble. It doesn't. So I would relegate this one to the grandma scent. And if you're very wealthy and want to give your grandma some perfume, this might be something that you would look at. Best I can come up with, New York Intense by Nicolai. Okay, so there you have it. 3 out of 5 for New York Intense by Nicolai. I deserve a slap on the wrist for that one, but hey, that is my take. Okay, well, step right up, my friends, because this one is a doozy. This one is highly original. This one is Season of the Witch by the Society of Alchemists. And you might say, wait a minute, did you pronounce the T in society? It must be English. Indeed it is, yeah? It's the Society of Alchemists. This one is a fun one. This one is unforgettable. And this is actually going to be one of my most fun reviews because it has really forced me to consider something I personally don't like. I don't like it. But I've really enjoyed the fact that it has forced me to give a review and not say something like, I just don't like it. So then I give it a bad rating. I'm going to give this a solid rating, and I'll tell you why. This is relatively inexpensive. It is vegan friendly. It is highly original. I'll read the notes in a second. They're off the charts. And it completely lives up to its name, Season of the Witch. And it also has the Society of Alchemists, has a brick and mortar store apparently in a city that I spent a day in, York, England, and I would love to go see that. It has really spiked my interest as to try other fragrances. I've said all the time in this channel that there really are two, right? There are two groups of FragCom. Some people love just a wonderful scent. Does it smell sexy? Does it give me compliments? Do I just really happen to absolutely like it in a more classic sense? Then the other camp is I could care less what other people think. I wear it for me, and I really like highly original, unique fragrances. I gave 6 out of 5 sprays for Acqua di Gio, so you know where I stand. I go by more for personal collection. Do I really just think it smells out of this world and just love it? I could care less if it's original or not. This one is for the FragCom folks who like the highly original fragrances. Let me just read the notes here. Pomegranate. Sit down for this one, okay? Pomegranate, mistletoe, black pepper, periwinkle, patchouli, prickly pear, and blackthorn. I mean, you have to give it to them. This is a top 5 most original fragrance that I've ever reviewed. It's also a top 5 in terms of the notes. And it's also just a top 5 in terms of living up to its name. In fact, I've only done this one other time, but I wanted, there was a quote in Fragrantica, and it was so perfect that I can't beat it. So I'm going to cite this person, and I want you to know that I am reading from her quote. So I will cite her. This is from Scent Sniffer 74 on Fragrantica, and she said the following, quote, "Imagine rotting fruit, wet autumn leaves, moss, black pepper, and weed in a bubbling cauldron." That is exactly what this is, my friends. You cannot beat that explanation. I can't. That's why I quoted it. And it is just really, really unique. It is not, in my estimation, it is not for men. This one would smell better on a woman. Here's what I think about this fragrance, though, as far as I also like it because it has a very specific, group. This one is definitely the septum rings, the tattoos, and the pot, right? So this is definitely for, the ladies going to spend the weekend at the Four Non-Blondes concert and singing, "What's going on?" And I said, "Hey." All right, I won't do that. But you get my point. This one really is for, to me, it works better on a woman's skin, and it's called the Season of the Witch. Damn. I mean, this is really out there stuff. I have to tell you, I'm not going to say number 1, but it is a top 5 most original. I can't say I like it on my skin, and I'm not, but it's totally for the artsy, again, you're going to see a lot of septum rings, a lot of tats, arm sleeves, of tats, pot. And I could see this also being a fragrance that a woman would wear after smoking weed because it would mask it quite well and come off as a fragrance. So, I mean, this one is unforgettable. You don't have to like it. I actually don't really care for it. But I will say, in 5 years from now, if somebody ever asked me about this one, my eyes would open up wide and I would have a lot to say because it certainly has a lot of personality and character. So, again, relatively inexpensive. It's vegan friendly, which means a lot to me. It is definitely highly original, and it absolutely lives up to its name, the Season of the Witch. And then finally, it's kind of cool to, that there's an actual store I would go to. If I'm ever in York, then I would actually stop by. I would love to know more about the house and their other fragrances because it has piqued my interest. Even in spite of the fact that this one is a pass, at least on my skin. And also, if I went on a date or something, I don't know that this would be the fragrance I would want to find alluring. But, I mean, hey, then again, I mean, if you're tired of somebody always wearing the same perfume, just like guys are always walking around wearing Sauvage and stuff, if I smelled this on a woman, I would also think that that's pretty cool because then she has clearly her own style and unique quality and has a very specific taste to a fragrance. So I actually probably would like it on a date. So Season of the Witch, me personally, it's a no. But I am going to go a whopping and forgiving 4 out of 5 on this one because it really forced me to show my hand in terms of my ratings and not just give a 1 or 2 out of 5 for something that I personally don't care for on my skin. So it's been a great review. 4 out of 5, a real fun one. Season of the Witch. And I'll tell you right now, every time you hear Four Non-Blondes, What's Going On, or any other band you could think of that's associated with a lot of pot smoking in the audience. I mean, ZZ Top. I mean, I chose a female group, but you could choose really any group you wanted. But this one is definitely has a ton of character. 4 out of 5. I cannot claim that I will get through all this juice, and just exclusively to this channel, only for the VIP and Patreon subscribers, am I going to show you a video of my mom reacting to this one. She would have to, it would be fun to see her reaction to this one, because it does have a very strong weed vibe to it, as well as, again, rotting fruit. I cannot beat Scent Sniffer 74. Rotting fruit, wet leaves, moss, black pepper. Rotting fruit, wet autumn leaves, moss, black pepper, weed, all in a bubbling cauldron. Home run, though, for this house to create something like this one. This one takes guts, and that tells me that it's a very original house that pushes the envelope, and does it all in York, England. Yeah, fun one. 4 out of 5 for this one. Okay, welcome back. This one is Gentry Jockey Club, and this is another fragrance in this episode by Oriza Legrand. So it looks like Oriza, Oriza. L is for the middle initial, and then looks like Legrand. 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 And here's the thing. I think you guys can correct me if you know more than I do. It's my understanding that this is the 2017 reinterpretation of the 1937 release. So let me say that again. I think this is the 2017 interpretation or reinterpretation of the 1937 release, because a lot of people are saying that they don't pick up any rose in this, and I think that might be because they're looking at the description for 1937, and it looks to me like there's been a reinterpretation of this fragrance, because I get what's more listed with the current notes of leather, iris, birch in the mid, in the top, saffron, and ylang ylang, and then the base, vetiver, sandalwood, and tonka bean. I also don't. I agree that. I mean, maybe there is some rose there, but it is either toned down or it's the ylang ylang that people are picking up, and this mixed with the saffron. So I just wanted to point that out. And if you are looking for this fragrance, because it is not cheap, you'll want to make sure you are understanding which one you're getting, because when you read the reviews, I think that's what's going on here, is some confusion, including myself. So this one is Gentry Jockey Club. So this is another one that really, really, really lives up to its name, because obviously Jockey Club, so we're looking at horse racing, and you would hope that this has an animalic quality to it, and oh, does it ever. So it's a leather-based fragrance, and really there are 3 things that jump out as far as the smell. This one has a prominent tobacco note. It has a prominent leather / animalic note, so for perfect for racetrack, right? There's the saddle and the horse, and then it also has a floral element that makes you think of maybe a nice perfume of the woman you're with at the racetrack. So this is another one that really, really, really hits a home run as far as what it smells like and how it matches up with the name. Gentry Jockey Club is exactly what you think it would be. Think racetrack, think smoking a cigar, a woman, your lady next to you with very floral, more traditional perfume, and then of course you've got leather and animalic notes as the horses go by. I will say out of the gates, I like this. It's a like. I do find that it has a sharp metallic note. Is it perhaps the iris and birch mixed? I'm not sure why, but it does have a sharp note that I don't know that I would say is off-putting, but it's real close. It's kind of, it's not my thing. If I had to choose, if we're going to go animalic and horse, I would say Equus by Lalique is better. I had the aftershave for that. That's one of the ones that I mentioned I personally didn't really care for, but I just got, tons and tons of compliments on, so many so that I had to really rethink that, and I have to give it props. So I would choose that because it's a lot cheaper. And if you're going for the horse, the animalic, and the leather note, you would want to go more that, unless you really want something in your collection that does have a wink and a nod to the old times of perfumery. Because just like the other one I reviewed, the Chypre Mousse, just like that one, this one also has a distinct gentleman mature fragrance of something that doesn't have a ton of notes and really looks back into an old time in perfumery. And I know a lot of people really do like that. So for the price though, that I'm gonna have to ding it a little bit, because it is another one that's it's a niche, so it's a little too expensive. And when you have something like Ecus by Lalique out there, I personally would choose that. You can see here I didn't sear through this one completely. This is another one that I labored a little bit. So I did give this a 3 out of 5 sprays, because I wanted to catapult it up enough to where I show homage to it, and I also want to honor the fact that it is at the very least a reinterpretation of an older fragrance, and that's really cool, and I like that, and I really appreciate there's another one that it smells exactly like you think it will. The name matches. So we're kind of running on a theme here in this episode with a lot of fragrances that smell just like their name. If this is your first episode with me, I talk about that a lot. That's not the case necessarily. A lot of fragrances have names that are head scratchers compared to what it smells like. So this one really is the racetrack. Great job there. I'm going to go 3 out of 5. I personally wouldn't get this. I personally wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't buy this as a gift for too many people. It is mature. It is 40 and up, and it is for a gentleman. Someone who's established in his field. It's not unisex. This is clearly a gentleman's fragrance, and it's for somebody over 40. It's not grandpa-ish. It's not old folks' home. It definitely is sophisticated and classy. But I think there are better options out there. The one exception would be, again, if you are in Fragcom because you really, really do love fragrances that take you back to the initial stages or an older time, a simpler time of perfumery, you would love this one. 3 out of 5 sprays for Gentry Jocky Club. Okay, so welcome to the 6th installment of this monster marathon episode. This one is Psychédélique, or Psychedelic, or Psychédélique. Psychédélique is fun to say, and it is yet another one by Jovoy Paris, Jovoy Paris. So this is a 2011, and this one is going to be a little bit short in the review, just because this one should be called Patchouli instead of Psychédélique. This one should be called, patchouli-esque, patchoulique, because this one is a patchouli forward fragrance par excellence. This one is for the people who absolutely adore patchouli, and then some more patchouli. It's another damp, wet soil, damp fragrance. It's not so much of the pot, element to it. It's more damp and musty with a T initially. So here's what I want to say about this one. It's not linear. I will give it that. So again, 2011, and it's an oriental woody fragrance. It starts off, I cannot find anywhere where it says cacao, but I'm telling you, this thing is in the initial wear, the initial blast. This one is like a cacao meets patchouli. So it's like this damp soil, wet soil, earthy meets chocolate milk, and or hot chocolate, and is that is a contradiction. Some contradictions in the perfume world work wonderfully because they are so different that it creates something original. This one, this one just does not work for me. And I cannot get past the initial blast. I do agree that it settles down with the vanilla later on into something that is musky with a K, not T. So it goes from musty to musky, and I like that with the musk. And then with the vanilla, it does get powdery, but I cannot get past the initial blast of this fragrance. I have tried, and I know that this one, I think, has another one has a strong following. I am going to give this a 2 out of 5 sprays. I know that's harsh, but it's just, I appreciate, I guess, there's another one, what they're doing. I don't like it. And I also wouldn't recommend this for a woman. If I were on a date and I smelled this, I'd probably ask for the bill and then head out. It would just be one of those. It's just not, with other ones you can find a specific time, a specific place. It has a certain atmosphere to it where you can think, oh yeah, I would wear it for this. This is just not one of those fragrances. The cacao meets patchouli is too much of a car wreck for me. I like the house. I appreciate the house. There's another one. But it is 2 out of 5 sprays. Before I hit the record button, I really wanted to catapult this to 3 out of 5 to show, respect to the house. But as we've said before, every house has a miss. This one is a miss for me, and it's just an odd concoction that I really can't come up with. I guess I'll call it unisex. It's not really masculine or feminine, and it's just for. And the 2, by the way, the 2 out of the 5 sprays would be because this would be perfect for somebody who loves really strong patchouli based fragrances. And by the way, there are many people who do. So like I said in the previous review in this episode, just because I don't like something doesn't mean I will give it a lower rating. This one, though, I had to. I have to come clean and say it's a scrubber for me personally. Don't get it. Wouldn't recommend it. And we're going to leave it just at that. Unisex, probably for somebody really 25 and up. It's not going to come to age. It's going to be whether or not you are looking for something that is patchouli dominant, and boy does this one deliver. I found Psychédélique quite psychédélique when it comes to the patchouli blast. 2 out of 5 sprays for this one. It is the lowest rated one of the 7. Hey, you can't win them all, and not only that, of the 7, one of them has to come in last place, right? So this one did come in last place of the 7. Okay, so for the final installment, we are taking a look at, I'm going to go with Maai. It's Maai, and it's by the house Bogue, Bogue. Also a first time for me. And so this is, again, Bogue is the house, Bogue. And I'm going to go with Maai, Maai. Now, this one is another Chypre. So I started off this episode with a Chypre review, and I'm going to end the episode with a Chypre review. It's a 2014 floral woody musk. And it is kind of a similar, almost slightly more refined version of Koros. This is another one of the, so this is civet, this is rose, and this is aldehydes. So this is definitely one of the classic 1970s carpet cat piss fragrances that you guys really, really love. And I actually really like this one. The animalic cat piss, 70s fragrances, the Chypres that with the aldehydes and stuff, they are hit and miss for me. This one is a hit. I really did like this one a lot. It has a lot of character, and one thing I like about it is the tuberose really knows its place here. He did, so the nose, by the way, is Antonio Gardoni. Antonio Gardoni. And the tuberose is done very well here. It's not too feminine whatsoever. Stroke of genius on the tuberose. I also like the rose, and I don't. The animalic civet is what you would expect it to be. Okay, so and then there's of course musk. Now the one thing to me though that really misses the mark is the aldehydes, because it really is an aldehyde blast initially that really doesn't go away, to the point that I docked it a spray. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 sprays. I like this one, and I actually would give it a 4 and dock it for the aldehydes are all over the place, and they really smack you in the face in the beginning. This was definitely not for the meek. This is a brash fragrance that lasts forever and a day and projects forever. So that said, the aldehydes are off-putting, and I would also take off another spray because it's $235 a bottle. This one, to me, would have been great at a retail for about $150. It is unequivocally well done, and I could immediately sense that it was high end. That said, you can get a lot of stuff out there on discounters for well south of $100 for those of you who like the 70s Chypre aldehydes smell, animalic, right, with the civet. And there are a lot of them out there, and you can get these well south. I mean, look at something like, it's not that it smells exactly the same, but if you look at, I got a tester for Amouage Gold. Again, I'm not saying that it smells like that. I'm just saying in the same kind of vein for those of us who are not huge fans of the 70s kind of animalic stuff. That one, as a tester, you could get for a great price. So for me, $235 retail for that deserves it to be docked to spray. I was totally prepared to go 4 out of 5 and then just happened to check the price. I'm going to go 3 out of 5 sprays with this one. It is wonderful to wear. It is, if you're looking for something with a lot of personality and something that is very, very brash, and or something that will have tremendous sillage, so remember that scent bubble or scent trail walking past people, projection and sillage, you are looking at another one that's just nuclear, and it goes forever and a day, and so it is quite powerful. So this one would be perfect for you if you're a fan of the Chypres, the aldehydes. Again, little top heavy on the aldehydes. If Antonio would like to continue with this one, I would say tone down the aldehydes, please, just a little bit. And then after that, I would go up to a 4 out of 5 sprays. The rose is great. The tuberose is great. The civet is wonderful. It is animalic, but not in any sort of way off-putting. Really a wonderful fragrance that's going to be popular for a lot of people who love those 1970s, animalic scents. So, unbutton that shirt. I can see you doing it. Unbutton that shirt, show us the chest hair, and get ready for the Bee Gees. Take care. Okay, there you have it. 7 fragrances left that Dr. Goo sent in. I really enjoyed doing this. It was a lot of fun to do, kind of like a haul, HAUL, and review a whole bunch of fragrances all at once. I don't normally do that, as you know, but I just had to do that because I had a few fragrances remaining that he had sent, and I wanted to give them the review that they deserved. Do you agree with any of these? Have you heard of them? Do you disagree? Which one was your favorite? What was the most intriguing? Let me know any thoughts or questions you have about this episode. And if not, of course, always let me know your scent of the day. I already told you mine. And after that, there's only one thing left to say, which is, of course, always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody, and don't forget, next week there will be the second bonus episode as we end off the channel. Take care. Well blended to a certain extent, but again, citrus is too sharp. The bergamot, the citrus notes, they just last too long, too prominent, mixed with the lavender, excuse me. And then you have musk and one other one in there later. Okay, so there you have that one. I'm going to go 3 out of 5 with a slap on the wrist from you for Nick. 1, 2, 3.